Minecraft is by far one of my most played games of all time, and although this game has helped shape me into the person I am today, that doesn't mean I don't have a few issues with it. Today, I want to talk to you guys about all of my Minecraft nitpicks, aka small things that I dislike about the game, and feel free to leave yours in the comments below as well. By far, my biggest nitpick of Minecraft is how they go about marketing the game, and I know that sounds strange, but let me explain. Anytime we see any kind of marketing from Mojang regarding Minecraft, we always see the game portrayed in this simplistic and clean looking art style, yet when you play the game for yourself, it looks completely different. Why doesn't Minecraft come with a trailer resource pack already installed like the programmer art? Thankfully, we have community members such as 𝗏𝗏𝗱𝗏 that have created the bare bones resource pack to help give us that Minecraft trailer feel, but it's always seemed very odd to me that Mojang never included one of their own, considering the trailer art style is almost as iconic as what we see in the base game. The textures for basically everything in the game already exist via these trailers, so I have to imagine it couldn't be too much work to have one included, and this has been bothering me for years. Armor stands are such a great and, in my opinion, overlooked feature inside of Minecraft, which I've enjoyed using for years. My main problem with them, however, is why do they suck so much in the Java edition of the game? Bedrock gives you the ability to pose armor stands and have their arms hold a myriad of items, while Java editions don't even have arms to begin with and are just the base stand. Thankfully, I use a mod to get around this issue so that I can enjoy using them to the fullest extent, but I don't really like how half-baked they are on Java, considering that's where I mostly play. I know Mojang has been focusing on Bedrock and Java parity slowly but surely over the past few years, so maybe one day I won't need a mod for it. Did Mojang simply forget about the bottle of enchanting? A handful of years back, Mojang did a massive sweep of many of the different textures in Minecraft to bring them up to modern standards and clean the game up a bit more. And whether you like the change or not, I think we can all agree that the bottle of enchanting going untouched is a crime against humanity. Not only does the aesthetic not match any of the other bottles in the entire game with how harsh the colors are, but it's also using the model of a drinkable potion instead of one that you can throw and break. This is unacceptable, and for whoever is responsible, I expect extended jail time for glossing over this niche and almost useless item. Speaking of textures, I gotta get this off my chest because it's something that has never made sense to me. Why does every single enchanted book in the entire game look the same? This feels to me like the equivalent of every single potion having the same color, despite them all doing different things. I recently installed a resource pack called Even Better Enchants, which fixes this issue, and I absolutely love it. The only time books look the same is when a book has more than one enchant on it, which is just shown via the default book texture, but with extra pages in between the cover. Regardless, I think this edition would make finding enchanted books that much more exciting, especially if you come across the golden and shiny mending book out on your travels. Some of you might be about to roll your eyes at this when I say it, but I don't like that the Warden doesn't have a unique drop. Yes, I know that Mojang likes to say that the Warden isn't a boss, and I totally understand the whole point of the Warden. You're supposed to be afraid and run from it instead of fighting it. But Mojang gave the Warden a health bar. They gave the player a means to defeat it, and honestly, made that even easier with the mace in 1.21. And what that tells my brain is that I must kill it, and Mojang obviously thought far enough as to cause it to drop a 𝗁𝗏𝗃 when you defeat one. So why not just trade that out for a unique drop instead? It doesn't have to be something overpowered that's a key to progression, but maybe something that's a bit more like a trophy on the cosmetic side. Which brings me to my next nitpick. I don't like how only certain mobs have mob head drops and wish the game had more of them. There doesn't seem to be too much rhyme or reason as to why specific mobs have drops and the rest don't. Like the piglin mob, for example, just felt like it was the most random addition out of nowhere to get a mob head. But I think the game would honestly be in a much better state if any mob could have the potential to drop their head. In the vanilla game, we have those which have a small chance of dropping, like the wither skeletons, those that generate regenerate naturally, like the skeleton skulls and ender dragon heads, and finally, those that can only drop by defeating the mob with a charged creeper. I think the most vanilla-friendly way of implementing this would be having most mob heads only drop from charged creeper explosions, but going back to my previous nitpick, I'd be lying if I said simply killing the Warden and getting its head as a cosmetic drop wouldn't be cool. What's the deal with chainmail armor? As a kid, I always thought chain armor was the coolest thing possible because the only way to get it was by crafting it with literal fire in the crafting table. And now, well, now you can find it off of mobs via random drops if they're wearing it, or even buy it from villagers via trading. Which brings up the question, if chainmail can only be obtained by fighting monsters or trading with villagers, then why does it suck? I mean, you have such a higher obstacle to climb over when it comes to obtaining a full set, so why does chainmail suck so much? It's better than gold, but not better than iron, and I know damn well I can get a full iron set in only a couple minutes in a cave. So, Mojang, if you're listening, either make chainmail have at least some sort of use, kinda like you did with leather boots for powdered snow, or allow us to craft the armor ourselves. I'm gonna use my absolute galaxy-sized brain really quick, and suggest that we should be able to use the chain item to craft the chain armor. Mojang, you guys can send my check via PayPal at any time. So, let me get this straight. Mojang introduced what is possibly one of the coolest concepts for a mob, and then had it all go to waste within the same update? The Sniffer, everyone. I love almost everything about this mob. The concept of a prehistoric animal species that the player has to dig up and bring into the modern world via the eggs is one of the coolest things that I've seen Mojang do for a mob in a long time. Not only that, but this mob also has the ability to sniff up plants that you otherwise can't get anywhere else, and even has a new one called the torch flower. This is perfect because if I ever wanted to light up my town without it looking ugly with torches everywhere— oh, you mean to tell me the torch flower doesn't emit light like a torch? Well, Mojang, you took an insanely cool mob concept and made them completely worthless. Please unnitpick this nitpick, cause I just want to be a sniffer enjoyer so bad, but the current iteration of the mob just makes me never want to discover it on my own. Easily, I think my favorite update in all of Minecraft was the Village and Pillage update. It made the world you explore in feel so much more alive when you can discover and trade with villagers, as well as protect them against their evil counterparts in the form of the pillager faction. It also meant I could populate my own player-built towns with people to make them feel more lively instead of just having random pumpkin people like I used to back in beta Minecraft. One small issue though is the absolutely humongous hassle of needing to move villagers from point A to point B, whether that be to create a trading hall or, like I said earlier, just give them a better and safer home. It's just massively annoying to do. And I know that Mojang has commented on this before, like with the Warden not having a drop. They've said in the past, quote, "Villagers aren't interested in following you, being tamed, enslaved, or being hired to follow or help. They have their own things to do." Now, first off, pause. Mojang, you definitely aren't doing a good job of keeping villagers from being enslaved. I mean, have you seen the conditions these villagers live under 90% of the time? And second, if I just saved these villagers from a threat in the form of a pillager raid with merciless killers, witches, and ravagers trying to knock down their doors, you'd think a villager would want to return the favor and follow me if I asked him to. In my opinion, this should be done via camels or llamas to kind of give these mobs some extra uses as a means to easily transport villagers, as seen in the villager transportation mod, because needing to build an entire railroad system just to move a villager someplace else, it's just a massive headache. So click off the video if you've heard this one before, but my biggest nitpick is, well, how about that fletching table? Anyways guys, those are my top 10 nitpicks for Minecraft as of 2024. I probably have a lot more if I spent more time to think about them, but these were the top 10 that came to mind immediately, so definitely feel free to let me know yours down in the comments down below, and let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the nitpicks I talked about in this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.